Hello and namaste, my beautiful friends. I am Jill Loftus of Nuit Astrology. Welcome to your planetary energy forecast for the week of November the 18th, 2024. We are rapidly finishing up this month. It has been a bit of a bumpy ride. This week, actually, though, it holds for us some positive flows of energy. Now, there's definitely change in the air. And we are still feeling this, that was such a powerful full moon over the weekend. And remember that that full moon was pretty close to Uranus. And so the sun still standing across the sky from Uranus in Scorpio. The sun in Scorpio, right? Uranus in Taurus, sun is in Scorpio. As we begin this week, they are still in that configuration that we call an opposition, where we must find a balance between the volatility related to resources, the earth herself, money, and food, things like that, right? That is represented by the sign of Taurus, with the sun in Scorpio wanting us to get real, get deep into understanding what's actually happening. Scorpio energy is about truth. And so these two forces standing across the sky means there still might be some revelations this week, as we, at least at the beginning of the week, shocking events, especially if you know where late Scorpio and late Taurus is, where that axis, those two opposing energies, are in your chart. Take a look at that. So that is still in play. We still are beginning this week with Mercury in the sign of Sagittarius, the sign of the philosopher, the sign of the optimist, standing across the sky from Jupiter in Gemini. Now, they have an interesting relationship here because Mercury is in Jupiter's favorite place to be, in Sagittarius, and Jupiter is in Mercury's favorite place to be, in Gemini. And so there's this little bit of a, hey, what are you doing in my house kind of thing going on here that adds a little extra special sauce to this opposition. Now, this is interesting also because we are not yet in the Mercury retrograde phase. That begins next Monday, the 25th. But we are in the shadow zone of that retrograde. So Mercury is traversing some territory where it will be moving through again soon, right? So we're still exploring some of the things here. So some of the decisions that we're making, some of the information that we're receiving, we're going to have to reconsider or rethink or redo. Now, when Mercury is standing across the sky from Jupiter, this could amplify arguments, especially because Jupiter in Sagittarius has opinions, okay? So watch, put a little pause between the mind and the mouth. Everything that enters your consciousness does not need to be spoken. So take a breath, take it slow, and be calm. Now, in supportive energy, and a supportive energy here, we're feeling into this all weekend, but we have the exact connection by a trine from the sun in Scorpio to Neptune in Pisces. This is highly inspired energy. It's very creative. It's somewhat romantic, although in kind of a deeper, more sexual way because of that Scorpio energy. So I'm really loving that watery connection. I've mentioned before, and I still believe that a lot of the reason that we're going through some of these particular transits at this time is we are learning to rely on things other than what we have relied on in the past. We have to learn to trust ourselves more, our intuition more. We have to be able to connect in a deeper way to the unseen. I remember back when I taught a lot of yoga, I would tell people, remember, everything you can see with your eyes right now will disappear. It will end. It will leave. It will go. It will be transformed. Because that is what science reminds us. All matter is in a state of either creation, being sustained, or being destroyed. So that inner self, that inner knowing, those intangibles that we experience, that is what we really take with us in this lifetime. And so connecting to those, relying upon those things, much, much more important than we realize. So that supportive trine between the sun and Neptune can be very inspirational. It can also still feel a little unsteady, though. I will say that I feel like our society and our world has leaned into the shadow of Neptune and Pisces more than the light. So stay in the light of that connection. And I think you'll still feel that all week. Okay, remember, even though the sun will be moving to Sagittarius, we've got Neptune very, very at those late degrees. So lean into that kind of inspired energy all week. Now, another super important day is on Tuesday. On Tuesday, we have Pluto at 3:29 p.m. Eastern, moving back into the sign of Aquarius to remain there for the next 20 years. So this shift in energy will be something that we're keeping an eye on. People have been talking about it for years. Whenever Pluto changes signs, it is a huge influence upon the collective. Now, for most people, that collective energy is unconscious. It's once you're aware of it, it's easier to see how people are being transformed through that energy of Pluto, the death, dying, and rebirth principle. But this Aquarian energy is going to usher in some of the themes that you may have experienced back in March of 2023 in particular, when Pluto first made its first dip into that sign at that degree. So pay attention to the cosmic symbols, the symbols in the world, and of course, the symbols in your own world on that day. Now, Mercury will be sending some lovely energy to Chiron, so a lovely fire trine there. Do the healing work, have the conversations. I love this for exploring new philosophies, gaining new understandings as to why or how we feel broken in some way and what we can do about it, right? Now, on the 20th, Mars in Leo is going to move into very, very close trine to the North Node in Aries and sextile to the South Node in Libra. The nodes of the moon are finishing up their journey, their 18-month journey through North Node in the sign of independent Aries and South Node in the partnered sign of Libra. So this Mars and Leo energy is really sending some supportive beams to both of them to help us in our relationships, to step forward, to speak more honestly about what we want in our partnerships and relationships, and to really claim our dignity and our power in those relationships as well. So look for those opportunities this week as well. I do think this is a great time of sorting out who belongs in your life and who doesn't, and let Mars and Leo help you figure it out. Now, the Sun in Scorpio also begins to send sextile energy over to Pluto at this time too, and this is very supportive and transformative. We've been talking a lot as astrologers about how the outer planets are connecting beautifully. And I want to remind you that just because they're connecting beautifully doesn't mean that it's going to be easy, all right? All these planets of tremendous change and force of change coming together, flowing well, that just means that things move more rapidly, more quickly, and the clinging to the past is more fruitless, and the embracing of the future is more fruitful. I feel like this week might have some hints related to those things. Now, another positive aspect that I'm super digging is Venus in Capricorn is going to begin to pick up a sextile to Saturn in Pisces. So this could really help you. I mean, Venus in Capricorn, she is really good with her money. She is disciplined. She is sensible. She gets what she wants, and she wants nice things, right? So I'm really loving that connection. And then another thing to note, we have another change of energy on the 21st. The sun will move into the sign of Sagittarius. The centaur with the hooves deeply connected to the earth and the body aiming with that arrow towards the heavens. So embrace that higher vibrational quality of that worldly centaur energy. And happy solar return to all my Sagittarius viewers and friends. Now, the exact sextile of that Venus and Saturn is on the 22nd. Remember, sextile is luck energy. It's like, oh, look, that good thing is happening. But you have to do something with it. It's not like trine. It's not like a trine. Like a trine is like you're on there and you're just gliding towards the good thing, right? With sextile energy, a little bit more of effort needs to be put into it. So where is Capricorn and Pisces in your chart? See if you can put in the effort to embrace the positive energy that's flowing between those two areas of life for you. Now we have another really long moon void on that day, the 22nd. Adjust this for your time zone, but it's 8:15 a.m. Eastern to 6:01 p.m. Eastern, so a super floaty day. So, wonderful for mind mapping and meditation and creative work. If you're in a creative type work, if you want to be, reworking the website. I think of it that way, you know, because we're in the shadow of Mercury. So redoing things is actually supported. So there could be some wonderful time there, but do not make a major decision during that time that would require linear thinking. Don't sign a contract. Don't book plane flights. Those are some of the major things that I like to be careful of during moon void times. And of course, I always post every month all the moon voids on my blog, on my website. So, and I always check that literally before I make a decision or make a commitment, because it's got me before when I've not done that. All right, and towards the end of the week, we have this fascinating configuration, a flow of energy. We call it a kite formation because it literally looks like a kite in the sky. But this energy is flowing and really focusing, I think, on Mars and the nodes of the moon. So really lean into that relationship karma, lean into that desire to be seen, to be appreciated, to be powerful in your relationships, but also beautifully vulnerable, right? It's one of the gorgeous things about the sign of Leo is how it can hold in its self both the power and the vulnerability, right? So allow yourself to be that. Allow yourself to both be powerful and vulnerable this week. All right, well, lean into this positive energy. I already did the tarot and it's super interesting. Looks like it's a more dynamic week than it might appear on its surface. All right, big decisions are being made. New pathways are being cleared and recognized. And so I wish you the most marvelous week. If this was helpful, please comment, please like, please share it with a friend, and stay tuned for the Isis Lotus Tarot spread. Hello and namaste, my beautiful friends. Let's take a look at the Isis Lotus Tarot spread for the week of November the 18th, 2024. So as you know, this is a spread that gives us two potential ways to work with the energy, two potential outcomes for the week. Cards are ready. Now, the first card that we look at is the basic influence of the past. King of Swords. So, influencing this week is this desire to be rational, to be logical, or dealing with somebody who has influenced our life through this kind of straightforward, logical communication style. All right, so a decision or someone who's made a decision, right? And you are the King of Cups. So you have this King energy as well, but this King energy for you is a little bit more intuitive, a little more sensitive, a little bit more based on emotions. Now, the environment is 10 of Wands. The current environment is you feeling like it's all on you and you have all these responsibilities and burdens. And as these energies come together, the Knight of Pentacles says you need to take some kind of practical action. You need to do something now to manage all of this energy. Key card of the future is the Six of Pentacles, which means you're going to need to devote time, money, and resources to something. So you need to understand where to appropriately do that. Now, the two options, judgment, a decision has to be made, a big, karmic, large life decision, or Knight of Swords, you have to make this is also kind of like an idea. It's a very mental card, right? It's air, it's swords, but it's moving forward, directing the mind in a certain way, right? So, all right, interesting. Now, the near future key card is the Page of Pentacles, which means something new has to start, all right? And again, it could be something financial. It could be the beginning of something, but it's practical, it's grounded, it's earth energy. Now, the modifiers of that page, well, we've got the Five of Swords. Don't be narrow-minded in your assessment. Don't just be like, oh, okay, well, I'll do this, and then you don't realize all the repercussions of that decision or choice. On the other side, we have the World card. So this reassurance that we will be successful if we dream big. Now, also, we've got on the Five of Swords side, we've got the Eight of Swords. So this is very swordsy over here on the Judgment side. We've got to really watch. It's almost like you have to make a decision this week. And then that decision forces you to start something new, but there's some difficult mental energy associated with it. There's some uncertainties, there's some fears, there's some doubts. On the other side, with the world, we have justice. So these are two major arcana popping up here. I would definitely say this is also a card of decision making, but this is more about what's fair, about what's doing what's right. Okay. So very interesting here. It's almost like we get to the Six of Pentacles where we're pouring this energy into something. Okay. And then we have a major life decision to make. We start down that road, but there's a lot of difficult mental constructs around it. The other side, same thing, right? We have to pour this energy into something. Then we make the decision. We move forward in our mind. We commit to this new thing. And then things start to really line up. Okay, two possible progressions on this. On the Judgment side with the Five of Swords and Eight of Swords, we have the Hierophant. We have to maybe check in with somebody and get some advice because our mind is so distraught. So we need to approach it that way. On the Knight of Swords, World and Justice side, we have the Empress. Birthing, creation, Venusian energy. Very powerful, beautiful. Over here with the Hierophant, Six of Cups, something returning from the past. And over here with the Empress, the Hermit. Wow. Very interesting assortment of cards here. So, this week it looks like it's coming about in two different ways. I mean, one, here we are. We're being influenced by the King of Swords, a decision that either we made or somebody else made. And we are trying to balance that decision with our intuitive sense of things and still move forward. Environment, don't try to do everything all yourself. Don't be the martyr. Don't be the, long-suffering whatever. Like, don't do that, okay? You need to instead, Knight of Pentacles, take practical steps to move forward. Now, one of them is a big life decision, okay? The other one is just simple redirecting of the mind, and then we'll see where we have to pour the energy into to start the new thing. Now, if you find yourself being caught up in the minutia, really fretting, worrying, then you need to talk to somebody. You need to get some advice. So this Hierophant energy could be, I don't know, who knows? It could be a friend. It could be a therapist. It could be that you just need to talk to your accountant about something, right? And then the Six of Cups, kind of reminds you that there might be something that you'll be looking back and being like, well, what if or whatever. Don't get lost in that. On this other side, once you direct that energy, Knight of Swords, once your mind is focused, then the new thing will begin. And it will be very big picture world. Justice, it will be something you have to weigh out the options and move in the direction that is the right thing to do. You'll need to create something new, and you'll need to spend some time in meditation and introspection to really understand the weight and consequences of what is happening this week. So very powerful week, it appears, and I hope this was helpful to you. Please drop a comment below. It always helps the channel to grow. If you found this useful and helpful, share it with a friend. Hop on the website. I've got Life Transformation course starting in January. I have my Tarka and Tarot, which is a wonderful way to review the previous year. I've got that available for purchase under my courses section. And of course, I have memberships, and I'm getting filled up on that. So that may need to close that down soon. So if you're interested, hop on. All right. Have a great week, y'all. Bye.